So today we've got the Corsair Hydro Series CPU cooler. So this is the H50. So basically what you've got here, actually let's have a look at the picture on the front. You've got a 120mm radiator with a fan, and then a couple of 1/4-inch tubes running to a CPU block and pump all in one sort of unit. Now this is meant to be sort of a low-cost liquid cooling solution that's meant to compete with the high-end air coolers, and all the while maintaining the ease of installation and the case compatibility of a high-end air cooler. So if we can figure out, oh, I think this is actually one of their power supply boxes. Now that I look at it, it looks like they've redone the artwork on a power supply box, so that's kind of clever. Okay, so we've got the unit open here. Let's get going here. So you take off your first plastic cover, take off yet another plastic cover. Wow, I'm totally not going to remember how this goes back in. Okay, so here we have it. This is the CPU block and pump unit itself here. So let's get this protective packaging off. So what this prevents is it prevents the little plastic cover, which has the thermal compound, from coming off. So you can see here, that's where the actual surface of the CPU block is. And then this housing here actually contains the pump, which circulates the fluid into the radiator. So we can cover that back up. Here is our quick start guide. So the quick start guide shows you the basics of how to install the radiator, how to install the retention ring and the backplate, and yeah, basically gets you started pretty quickly. So what's next? Here is that in other more different languages, so we're not really interested in that. Okay, so here's our LGA 775 backplate. Here's our LGA 775, I think, hold down. Or that might be 1366. Anyway, okay, it includes a 1366 and a 775 retention ring and backplate. And then I believe that soon they're going to be shipping with an 1156 retention ring and backplate as well. So here's the 4 screws for installing your radiator. So why don't we actually pull out the fan and radiator here for a minute. So you can see there's a nice paper protective sleeve on the radiator that prevents these fragile fins from getting damaged in transit. So you want to be very careful when you're handling the radiator, because you don't want to bend these. If you bend them, you may not even impact performance, but what can happen is you can create more turbulence when the fan's blowing air through, and it can make it a little bit louder. So you've got a nice sleeved power connector here. This can actually plug into a fan header on your motherboard, which is really convenient to see. And then here is our 4-pin PWM fan. So the way Corsair recommends installing it is to actually put the fan installed backwards in the back of your case. So you're drawing fresh air from the outside of the case, attach the radiator either this way or upside down the other way, and then you can run the CPU cooler over to your CPU and use the backplate for installation. Now you use these black screws, they go through the case, through the fan, and then right into the threaded holes here on the radiator. So thank you for checking out my blog video on the Corsair H50 CPU cooler.